Hi students. Okay, so I am going to focus this video on the Writing Project 2 official assignment handout. Okay, when you click this open, make sure you scroll all the way down, and this is the document with the official assignment sheet that pops open. But I have some information here for you to read before you get to that point. I don't know what's going on here with my screen. There we go. So the Writing Project 2, the reason I left it for the end of the Unit 9 or the Week 9 unit is because I wanted you to have that practice with ads in the journal and discussion, because you're going to be doing something very similar for this assignment. So that was kind of like a practice run, okay? So you have a little bit of experience and you kind of know already from those assignments what to do. The difference, there's a couple differences. The difference is that we are going to put this into an essay format, but we're still working with visual text, and instead of just a regular ad, we're going to be doing more like a public service announcement ad or a PSA. So the information I have here explains the difference, so you kind of understand what a PSA is. Okay, and then I also have places for you to go and find a PSA. So this one resource, instead of putting a ton of links, I put this one because it has like 60 different ads that you can look at and choose from. And so if you, for some reason, don't want to do any of those and you find your own, it will need to get approval from me first, okay? Because I want to make sure that you're getting something that's an official, you know, like a real organization, you know, had this ad put out, it's been published, it's, you know, it's out there, it's the real deal. So we want to make sure you get an ad like that. Okay, and so basically in this writing project, what we're doing is just very similar to what you did in your journal and your discussion. So you're going to analyze your PSA ad, the one you choose from this list here. Okay, and that's one part of the assignment, is you're actually going to analyze it. And then the second part is that you're going to kind of create your own PSA, and you're going to write a little bit about that. You're going to explain how you use those strategies to persuade your audience. So you're really kind of thinking about how this, you know, how this kind of influenced your own ad. You know, when you really break down and look at another text, it kind of helps you think about your own writing and your own rhetorical situation, right? And so that's kind of the idea. And so that's the gist in a nutshell of what you'll be doing in an essay. So that's what our writing project is. Now, of course, I have the official assignment sheet that goes in much, much more detail. Okay, so you guys will want to make sure that you review this. I have all of the context, the overview, purpose, but I'm going to scroll to the writing prompt, okay, which is right here. And so you can kind of see that there's a very kind of particular question we're trying to answer. How do persuasive strategies work to influence an audience in a visual text? And specifically, in our case, it's going to be a public service announcement, okay? So you're going to explore that question by analyzing one professionally created PSA image and applying similar strategies in creating your own. And so these are the questions that kind of guide you through that. Your essay should answer these questions by making a clear claim about which persuasive strategies are most effective and showing how those strategies are used in both the PSA you analyzed and the PSA you created. So I have this broken down into different parts. What you will compose and create for Writing Project 2. First is the specifics on the PSA analysis. Like, what does that mean? What should be included in the analysis? And again, it'll be kind of similar to what you did in your analysis. 2, your own original PSA image. Okay, so this is the part where you're doing your own creation. Okay. And so that too has some guidelines, creating the image itself, but then the writing on the image is going to be an important part of the essay, right? You're explaining your rhetorical choices. You're talking about your own creation process. You're talking about your own, rhetorical decisions that you made, thinking about that specific audience you're trying to reach. Okay. And I have some other guidance for you. Like, this is an essay, an expository essay, so you will have a thesis statement. And so I have a central question here that you can answer to help you with that. I have some guidance for you on how to include your images in the document. What should that look like? Because we are sticking with MLA format for this paper. And so I have a little bit here on how to do that. Okay, because you will need to include the image you analyzed and the one you create. There will be a works cited page. Now, we'll get to that later, so I don't have a lot of specifics here. But you will need to do some citation, create some citations on your works cited page, especially for the ad that you are analyzing, and if you for some reason do bring in any outside sources about that ad, you would want to cite those as well. And I've also included an essay organization outline. So this is going to help you structure your essay. Okay. Now, for those of you who are like, what does this look like when it's all put together? I can't quite envision how all these parts are going to fit. This is going to be a good part of the resource for you because it's going to have an introduction and thesis, just like any essay in the first paragraph. And then your body paragraphs are going to be kind of divided between your analysis of the PSA that you've chosen to write about and analyze, and then the one you created. Okay, and you're going to have that there. And then, of course, there's a concluding paragraph. So that should give you a little bit more of kind of a roadmap of what this paper will be like. And then, of course, the schedule, as you can see, we will be kind of focusing in on a particular part of the writing project in the upcoming weeks. We're going to focus first on the analysis of the PSA, and then in week 11, we'll look at the part where you create it and write about it. And then in week 12, that's going to be kind of where you put it all together, and then you start thinking about checking your thesis statement, checking your, making sure you have your citations in place, making sure you have included your images in the right way, and putting all these things together in one document. Okay, and the requirements at the end. Okay, so it will be a process, as was our writing project 1. And so each week I will give you some more guidance and some more resources to help you put this together. All right, everyone, I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. If you have any questions, I will be available. Have a great week.